Hey guys, it's Monday morning, so it means we're going to pick up equipment that's been out over the weekend. We do have a weekend special. If you don't know, if we deliver the equipment to you on Saturday, we'll pick it up on Monday morning, and it will only be a day charge as long as you don't go over 8 hours of runtime. We have a lot of customers that take advantage of that. This particular customer we're going to, he lives in a hunting community. I didn't know such a thing existed. It's a subdivision that each lot is 5 acres. It's in rural South Carolina, just at the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. And once you own a lot there, you also then have access to 500 acres of hunting land that only the owners of these homes can use. It's a gated community. It's really cool. I wanted to share that with you. And also, this is a customer that has that tractor that kind of ran into some issues with, and I wanted to share that with you guys. Kind of a little bit different than what I deal with, but it's interesting. There's something to learn from it. All right, guys, so here we are. Like I said, it's gated, so you got to have a key code to get in. I don't know how many houses are in here, but they definitely are really spread far apart. There's a beautiful home right there. A lot of cabin style houses, and they're definitely not small. Stop the video just to protect the privacy of this customer. That's our machine that we're about to pick up. And this is the tractor. This is a big boy. This is a 75 horse tractor. And from what he told me, he joked and said he uses it like a 120 horse tractor. But as you can see right there, that's the culprit right there. The frame cracked on this machine. Right there. Now, for people that don't know, agricultural tractors, which is what this is, the frame also houses a lot of the different components. So inside that frame is a hydraulic tank. It'll be transmission, gears, things like that. And once it breaks, you can actually have a lot more damage happen. Hopefully in this case it didn't. Hopefully it's just the frame, and you know, they could take everything apart. You can't really see much more in here. You just can see the dripping oil. But in order to replace that part, you have to replace the whole frame of the tractor. So you would be taking everything off, the cab, all the hydraulic lines, everything completely, axles, and getting a new piece. Now, in a different application, you could maybe weld. However, this is cast iron, and I don't know if you know or if you've ever welded cast iron. It's near impossible to get it to be as strong as it was in the beginning. It's a very porous metal, and so it tends to hold a lot of oils and things like that. And since this is part of the transmission, it's very oily, it probably would not hold very well. So I did talk to him, and he said he had already gotten a quote roughly $14,000 to fix this. Big job. It's a very big job. And then again, hopefully nothing else went bad. He did say it still drove okay, so the transmission should be good, but this whole machine has to come apart. Motor's got to come off, everything like that. So yeah, so the difference with construction equipment is that we have a steel frame, right? So like the skid steer has a steel frame, the motor gets bolted onto it, the hydraulic pumps, everything gets bolted onto it. They're all just, a tank is bolted onto it. So if you ever had something like this happen, you know, it'd be a little bit simpler, but it's also just hardened steel that you can grind and weld if you have a situation like this. You know, he has this machine kind of loaded out. So these tires here are loaded. And what that means is they have a fluid inside to give it more weight. So when you try to lift with the loader, you know, you have a lot more counterweight. On top of that, he has this box right here with full of concrete, as you can see. That's also designed to be a counterweight, so that he could get maximum lifting capacity. So it could have been something like that that kind of contributed to it. It could have been that those bolts came loose and it had some play in it, and once it had that play, it just started putting a lot more stress on those ears around the bolts and cracked them. But either way, it's a very unfortunate situation. It looks like a pretty new tractor, but like anything else, it can be fixed, just with a lot of money. Now we're going to go ahead and get loaded up with our machine and head back to the shop. As you can see, this customer's got a really cool shop. It is an HOA after all, so he said they limited him on the size of the shop he could build, but they didn't have a mention in there how big the awnings could be, so that's why the awnings are bigger than the shop. That hydraulic oil does not sound happy. Now you may wonder why I'm picking up a machine with no bucket. This particular customer has all the attachments. He's got pretty much anything you can imagine. And that tractor does have a quick attach on it with a hydraulic flow, just like this machine here. So he asked me to deliver it without a bucket because he had his own forks, his own bucket that he wanted to use. He was actually using the machine to plant trees. He had a stumping bucket, and so he was using the machine with a stumping bucket to dig the holes, and then using his forks to place the trees in the holes. I don't know if you can tell, it's very cold here today. The hydraulic pump on the trailer did not love it. Sounded a little rough there in the beginning, but smoothed out. So yeah, now we're gonna be heading back to the shop. Love how private a lot of these houses are. And you can kind of see how massive massive some of these houses are. Now what's interesting here, I don't know why they do it this way, but one gate comes to you and one gate goes away. And if you don't play your cards right, you're gonna get smacked with one of those gates.